from 6 p.m. up to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. After that, between 6 a.m. and 12 noon, every student must vacate the campus.
We'll be live on the KNUST campus, where a combined team of heavily armed military and police personnel have been deployed following intelligence reports to Emergency Ashanti Regional Security Council pointing to planned further attacks.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Bond, CIMG Savings and Loans Company of the Year, Gasem Cement, the Nation Builder, Vodafone, the future is exciting, ready, and Nationwide Medical Health Insurance, Best Health Insurance Company of the Year, the 2018 Ghana Insurance Awards, and its CEO awarded Woman of Excellence at the Ghana Insurance Awards. In the last 1 hour, KNUST, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, has been closed indefinitely. There is a dusk till dawn curfew that has also been imposed by the Ashanti Regional Security Council following an emergency meeting with the university's executive council that has just decided to also deploy a combined team of heavily armed police and military men on the campus following intelligence briefing to that emergency meeting that there are planned further attacks by students. And this all started today when students decided to go on the protest, which then turned violent. The students then turned their anger on school property, but also destroying private property of the lecturers and the school's executive leadership, destroying a number of cars. In the last count, 30 cars have been destroyed. Some set ablaze. Well, the school's registrar has, in the last hour after the emergency meeting, been briefing pressmen about the extent of damage.
Information available to KNUST indicates clearly that some alumni of the University Hall have been the brain behind orchestrated and executed the acts of vandalism as they came in. They vandalized the reception of the main administration block, offices of the Dean of Students, Finance Office, University Relations Office, and the Security Services. They also vandalized about 30 vehicles belonging to staff of the university, burnt the Dean of Students' official car, and 14 motorbikes of the Security Services. They broke into offices, ransacked, and took away personal and official items, including laptops, mobile phones, ladies' handbags, and other items. Access control gates at BOMSO and security cameras were completely vandalized and destroyed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is worthy to know that all these attacks were highly unsolicited and unprovoked, contrary to the allegations by the student leadership.
He also gave details about what they suspect to be planned further attacks, but also the suspicion that he says is currently firmly on the school's alumni. Remember, the school has been protesting the conversion of one of the halls into a mixed hall. That hall particularly used to be an all-males hall. That is really the genesis of this. The students, they went on the streets on campus protesting, claiming that the school's vice chancellor and executive council had been dictatorial, and they were showing their displeasure at the way the school is being run currently, which then turned violent. But the authorities in the school, the registrar to be very specific, believes today's violence on the campus was instigated by the school's alumni. Listen to Andrews Kwesi Boateng.
Buses to participate in today's activity. Information available to KNUST indicates clearly that some alumni of the University Hall have been the brain behind orchestrated and executed the acts of vandalism as they came in several buses to participate in today's activity. The university strongly condemns in no uncertain terms acts of vandalism leading to the destruction of both government and private property and destroying facilities obtained with the taxpayers' money. Intelligence reports indicate that the acts of vandalism will be sustained and escalate in the times ahead. It's only prudent that steps are taken to protect lives and property.
And we'll hear shortly from the Ashanti Regional Minister, who has been chairing the National Security, the Regional Security Council meeting. We are also expecting the Education Ministry, the Minister, really, to lead a delegation there tomorrow. A statement from the Ministry has also been issued. We'll be going into that shortly. Plus, there's also a statement tonight from the National Youth Authority. Pretty fluid situation happening on the campus of the University of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Let's go there live now. Let's speak to Erastus Asare Donko, a man who has been on the ground all day covering this from all the angles for us. Erastus, are we aware of any arrests so far?
No arrests as we have been made aware of. We've tried to comb the police sources and other institutions, but we've been made aware that there is no official arrest at the moment.
Now, what really sparked this today?
In fact, I would say it was unprovoked. It was nobody caused it. The students themselves, as we were following them from the Katanga end, as they reached the administration, and they gathered and stayed there for a moment and started throwing stones at the building. And in fact, they entered the reception, started vandalizing things over there. And so I wouldn't say somebody caused it or something triggered it. It was spontaneous. And not all the students were doing that. In fact, some of the demonstrators who were pelting the stones and at a point used clubs to smash television sets, equipment they could meet, vehicles that were parked there, including the registrar's vehicle and other administrative staff, private vehicles parked here, both government and private vehicles. Some of them, one particular vehicle belonging to the Dean of Students, was set ablaze internally. It burned from within, but they were able to put it out. So that one is parked at the faculty at the moment. And lots of vandalism at the Dean of Students office, the administration area, and other areas as well. Lots of blockades and other things. So nothing triggered it. It was spontaneous, and it was caused by the students themselves.
Now, so where were the security men, the police officers who understand? In fact, I've been watching the video. I saw some of them on campus. Where were they when all this was happening?
That is what I'm trying to still make sense of at the moment, because they were there. They had a tank parked in front of Great Hall, which is just a walking distance from there to the administration block. And some of them were also parked and standing close to patrol vehicles, just some few meters, like a watching distance from afar. But they did not react immediately, and that was where I was trying to find out from the security people why that happened. I've not gotten any response yet. It was after they vandalized the reception and then moving to destroy certain gadgets and smashed the vehicles. That was when I saw about 7 armed policemen come over to the frontage of the administration hall and prevented the students, drove them away at that point. So the question is, why did they wait or halt their movement until the vandalism had gone on before they came in?
And in fact, I've seen some of the videos that yourselves have sent to us, in which in one of the cases, the students were vandalizing property. There's a policeman in their midst who was simply sort of talking them out of trying to do it, was walking about, but watching on whilst this happened.
In fact, the only thing that baffles me was that restraint at a point where you could clearly see vandalism going on, a crime being committed, and then they stood afar. What I've heard so far is that of their numbers, and they felt that the students outnumbered them, but it was the same number of armed policemen who later came in and were able to drive the students away. But if you exclude that, then going afterwards, I must say that they acted very professionally in controlling the students from that time on. The military men restrained themselves very much, despite the provocation, the throwing of stones and other things. At that point, I must say, the security agencies really acted maturely.
And you were on campus while all this unfolded. And what is the situation on campus right now as we speak?
Well, I can see students who are running towards their halls at the moment, trying to beat the curfew deadline. We have, I'm standing right now at the administration. There's a roundabout here which bears the KNUST emblem. You can find some patrol vehicles parked. There are armed police and military personnel ready to enforce the curfew, some of them with sticks and other things. You could see students running all around towards their halls, an indication that it's getting to 6 p.m. and they need not to be seen outside. And so that is what is happening. We have an empty space at the moment. Many of the students have gone into their halls. Some of them you can see running towards their halls. So that is the situation on campus at the moment.
And we need to say this curfew that had been imposed was imposed after an emergency Ashanti Regional Security Council meeting together with the school executives. Erastus, still online. We'll be speaking shortly with the University Relations Officer of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kwame Yeboah Jr., who is also joining us on the telephone line right now. But I wanted to listen to Simon Osei Mensah, who is the Ashanti Regional Minister, speaking about the measures they've taken since this the violence that we saw in the early part of the day to forestall further violence going forward, also based on intelligence they've gathered, and what they plan to do going forward. Just the Ashanti Regional Minister, who chaired the Security Council meeting.
Now, if a vehicle wants to enter the school through that gate, it will be difficult for the security people to provide protection or stop the person. Having seen all these things, the Regional Security Council decided to meet with the Vice Chancellor and his team. Now we've taken a decision, considering the extent of damage and destruction to most of the security gadgets on campus. It will be very risky for us to have the students to be here continuously. Because of that, the decision that has been taken by the Regional Security Council that today, from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, we've imposed a curfew on campus. So nobody is going to enter or go out after 6 p.m. All students must be in their halls of residence, in their rooms, from 6 p.m. up to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. After that, between 6 a.m. and 12 noon, every student must vacate the campus, including student leaders, the leadership of the students. The only people that will be permitted to stay here in their hall of residence, and we are going to provide only one, is foreign students. And we are going to provide protection for them. Then tomorrow we will consult the National Security Council. We have discussions with them, and then with Ministry of Education. Then we will agree on a tentative date that the school will be reopened after most of the things that they destroyed have been put in shape. We need to ensure that some of the security gadgets that have been destroyed, we can replace them.
And it's just some 15 minutes to the top of the hour when that curfew will take effect. And as you just heard the Ashanti Regional Minister say there, it's from 6 p.m. right now to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And Erastus is reporting the students are currently taken to their heels, running back into their various halls of residences, trying to beat the curfew. And Erastus, if you're still with me on the line, you get a sense that the security and military men on the ground are bent on enforcing this curfew to the letter.
Hello.
Let's quickly speak now to Yeboah Jr., University Relations Officer, who is on the line with us. Hello, Mr. Yeboah Jr.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Top Story. I know what happened today was targeted at the leadership of the school, the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, and others. Cars have been destroyed. The last count 30 we are hearing. One was set ablaze. Where's the rest of the leadership of the school now? Everybody safe?
Yeah, everybody's safe.
I'm here on campus, but the others are safe, yes.
And you, from what I've heard, the university you knew that this was going to happen today in terms of the protest, correct?
Yes, we got to know about that, yes.
And what steps did you take, though, knowing that this was going to happen, to provide adequate security on campus?
Well, thank you very much. Security was provided, and we had in mind also meeting the student body to have a discussion. And our expectation also was for them to, if they finish embarking on their demonstration, they will come to the main administration and present whatever grievances they have. But that was not to be. All we saw was destruction, vandalizing of property, and causing mayhem.
But I've seen videos, and it appeared they had a lot of police officers armed with riot gear, but nonetheless, they didn't stop the rioting and destruction of property from unfolding. What's the school's own view on this?
Well, I think the security would provide the answer. We couldn't understand because we saw the students on the streets, and we saw some security men, and what we were expecting was possibly to restrain them from maybe doing certain things. But all we saw was they just veered off the main street onto the lawns and started throwing stones at the administration block, entered our reception area, vandalized everything. And we were surprised that the security men we had on the ground couldn't act. I wouldn't be able to tell why they did what they did. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Plus, we heard from the registrar of the school when he briefed the press that there is, you believe, the alumni of the university had a hand in what happened today.
Well, definitely yes. The antecedents to this, I'm sure we are all aware. The threats of mayhem, we are all aware. And we have information. Some people were back from other places to this place to embark on this demonstration. So I would say those who embarked on this demonstration and the distraction were not only students, but some alumni and some other people who probably have no stake in this whole situation. They are no students, and I must say some were even criminals.
We lost him on the line there. We'll try and reconnect as we try and deal with this in some great detail. We'll also be speaking to the National Youth Authority, which has tonight issued a strongly worded statement condemning school authorities there and the security agencies for the high-handed approach, they say, to dealing with the students. They call it barbaric, but also say, and I want to read aspects of this as we begin to get onto the phone lines and speak to Mr. Sigri, who heads the National Youth Authority. It talks about the fact that the National Youth Authority calls on all peace-loving Ghanaians, including the state security agencies, to hold the university administration, headed by Vice-Chancellor Professor Kwesi Obiri-Danso, and the Who's Watch This Is Happening accountable, and demand that he acts responsibly and take the necessary actions in a timely manner to avert any further brutalities and confusion that would only mar the peace on the KNUST campus. There's more from this statement I'll share with you, but let's go on to the phone lines and speak to an executive of the university alumni. He's also a lawyer for the alumni. Remember, the alumni had gone to court challenging the decision of the university, led by its vice-chancellor, to convert one of the halls there into a mixed hall. We'll go on to the phone line shortly and speak to George Tetewayo, who was a lawyer for them. But I just been joined again by the university relations officer, who we lost briefly when the line dropped. He was talking about Mr. Iwaju. You were saying that some of the students who did this some of them are even criminals, correct? We lost him again. Do I have George Tetewayo on the line? Hello, Mr. Wayo. I lost him too. We'll try and deal with the issues with the line shortly. But I wanted to listen from the students' own point of view why they decided to do what they did today on the KNUST campus.
Constitution, even if you are a continuing student with an average of 55, you are eligible to run for any election. 55 would trail you can't run for any election. So if you have a 60 and 1 trail, you can proceed with any other election. So the rule says that if you don't have an average, you can't run for CWA because you don't know academic standing. So last semester, some group of students were duly elected as various hall executives, but because of the tyranny from the VC and the dean of students, they don't want the continuing student to go to their post and execute their charges as hall executives, or in the name and the fear that these executives might channel down the tradition of these halls back to these fresh ones. So in their quest to curb the activities of these elected leaders, they've stripped off the powers from these leaders, and they've instated first years as hall executives. So now first year is writing a communique on behalf of a hall he barely knows, a hall he has just resided in for just 2 months. This is not in tandem with our constitutional provision, so therefore this cannot hold, because they are spitting on the very power that's giving us authority as an SRC to act. Therefore, we the student will never agree. That's how you are seeing all that you are seeing. So basically, this is another reason, and into the brutality. That's why we are having this unrest.
The University Vice Chancellor is trying to be, very arrogant and try to be autocratic. Look at what is happening. We condemned it from the start. So I think that the President of the Republic, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, should come in. He should not just issue directive and say that the issue should be solved by people. He should come in himself, because what is happening currently on campus is absolutely unfortunate. Look at a whole lot of issues. If this issue is not solved, if they don't reverse the decision of the University Council, if they don't reverse the decision of the University Council, we are going to see more of this, and I'm not too sure it will end anytime soon.
Let's quickly now speak to Jota Tawayo, who is a lawyer for the alumni and also an executive of the KNUS Alumni Association. Mr. Wayo, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening to your cherished listeners.
We just heard from the university, the school's registrar and the university relations officer both saying that today's rioting had a lot to do with the alumni, and that they are aware that alumni organized buses and bus people, including criminals, to campus to do what happened, to do some of the damage that we've seen happening on the KNUS campus today. Your reaction?
Thank you very much, and thank you to Ghana this evening. Evans, you can see clearly that the university PRO, as he's been doing all this while, when the decision to convert Unity Hall and Katanga into Mixed Hall began, he's always been speaking off the record and off the issue. Your reporter just told you that it was spontaneous. And in fact, this March 22nd of October on KNUS campus, it's a march, Evans, as the reporter said, the police were standing and were just looking. If you are a Christian, Evans, you'll be clear that when Paul was in prison, it got to a time Paul walked out of prison and the prison guards were just watching and Paul was there. It was ordained for it to happen for Professor Bidanso to know that he cannot come and begin to change the entire historical nature of KNUS.
So the KNUS alumni, you back what the students did today?
The students did what they did because you heard from the students themselves. A first year is now a hall president.
Yes, I understand. We had that the grievance, but so you're backing the torching of vehicles, the destruction of as many as 30 private vehicles, destroying lecture halls and buildings, university property. You endorse all that.
Ivan, you want to push me so that Ghana will look at me in a very bad light, but I want to respond. That your reporter told you that it was spontaneous.
Yes, I know it was spontaneous. I'm asking you you've been accused of being behind this.
Do not have, as humans, we do not have control of spontaneity. Anything that is spontaneous, do we have control over it? The FRC was leading. The FRC was leading, and the FRC was in charge. I heard some of you are reporting is Katanga is Unity. It's the entire KNUS, the entire 6 halls. The students are now, they're tired.
A direct question, Mr. Wayo. Do you endorse what happened today, or you condemn it?
Evans, I'm a man who believes in natural law. I won't say I endorse or not endorse. I'm saying that we don't control spontaneity.
I asked the question with 2 options: endorse or condemn. Where does our alumni stand on this?
We are not here to condemn or endorse, but we are saying that whatever happens spontaneously by the students is to react naturally to the event of Obidanso's administration of KNUS.
Did the alumni sponsor today's actions by providing vehicles to bus some alumni to campus.
Alumni, we are in Accra here. As you speak to me, I'm here in Accra. My colleagues are here. Those in Kumasi, they've gone to work. This doesn't happen in the morning. It is the same first year, the same freshers they think. You see, the world is like that. They think they are bringing boys and girls from just some schools. Oh, freshers, they don't know anything. The very moment their feet touch on the university soil, 1 week, they are already there in the university. They wear the armor of a university campus. And the life of the university campus, where they go in. For example, the boys want to have their Friday night morale and vigil. You go there to beat them. It's the same freshers who have demonstrated against him. No alumni is there.
I'm grateful that you joined us. That's a lawyer for the KNUST Alumni Association. He's also an executive of the alumni group. Just joined on the line right now also by the chief executive officer of the youth of the National Youth Authority, and they issued a strongly worded statement today. I'll quickly read portions of this for you. It says the National Youth Authority has taken notice of the gradual lawlessness that is settling in at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology and condemns unequivocally the wanton acts of brutality meted out to protesting students. The bloody scenes unfolded as a result of this inhumane treatment of the students have been disseminated across the globe. To say the least, the tacit endorsement of these shocking and barbaric acts by authorities of the university is very disgraceful, shameful, and an affront to Ghana's constitutional order, and further leaves an indelible scar on Ghana's democratic dispensation. However, the authorities has also taken note of some criminal activities emanating from some purported students and call on the police to deal with these suspects in accordance with the laws of the country. In recent times, they say that the National Youth Authority calls on the peace-loving Ghanaians, including state security agencies, to hold the university administration headed by Vice Chancellor Professor Kwesi Ebri Danso, under whose waters is happening, accountable, and demand that he acts responsibly. Let's speak to Mr. The Chief Executive now, Emmanuel Assigri. Emmanuel, thank you for your time here on Top Story. Why should the Vice Chancellor be held accountable when students simply went on a rampage and destroyed property and broke the law fundamentally? Hello, Mr. Assigri.
Hello.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm just hearing you now.
Great. My question to you, you said the Vice Chancellor should be held responsible and accountable. I'm wondering why you say that when we've seen videos of students destroying, burning, setting vehicles ablaze, turning some of them over, destroying up to 30 vehicles and property, government property. How can you hold the Vice Chancellor accountable for something like that?
Well, Ivan, thank you for the opportunity. I think that this is what we anticipated. This is what we knew was going to happen, and that is why we issued the statement. Fortunately for me and my staff, we issued the statement before all these issues which you are talking about happened.
Unfold that. You know what I wanted to do for me? Kindly hold the line for me briefly. I'm going to take a short break. I'll come back to you on this because we'll be speaking also shortly to the Ashanti Regional Minister, who, of course, spoke to us earlier about the Security Council meeting that has been held. But Mr. Sigri, still a line for me briefly. This is Top Story. Newsnight will start shortly here on Joy 99.7 FM. In fact, Newsnight starts right now.